welcome, it's Scallop Beats Self-Sufficiency and I'm machine knitting. Today I'm sat at a 950i Brother. It's a bit of an old scrappy machine, but it's working, it's fine, it just doesn't look very pretty. So I'm going to show you how I get into the carriage today, because the carriage lever is just in the wrong place. It needs to be one step over and I need to check the carriage out inside. So first of all, we're going to take the carriage off the machine. And the only things I have with me to deal with this today is a screwdriver, a star screwdriver, and a piece of newspaper. To get into the carriage, we need to take the handle off. And the handle is held on by a screw here and here. A star screwdriver is what we use to get to that. We've got one of those each side. That's the second one out. When those both out, that then means that you can lift off the handle. We're going to turn it over. We've got the underneath of the carriage facing up. And now we're looking for two screws that are different colour. The gold, that one there. And that one there. And those hold the plastics on. So we need to undo those from underneath with the star screwdriver. The next thing we need to do is flick off, lift up by putting a blade or a tool under, and we're doing a lifting up movement here. That worked rather well. And flick off this indicator here, the cap with an indicator on. Now the indicator we know came from the 6 o'clock point, and the way we know that needs to be there is underneath. It's got this triangle bits of pattern of these bits that stick down, and here at the 6 o'clock position there is a little hole in this triangular piece of metal. Next thing is to take this piece of metal off, remembering that this needs to be equal in position. You see, it's just off position. Take that off, take off this piece of metal, and now the tension dial is loose and we can just twist and gently lift up and off it comes. There you go. Now there's nothing holding the plastics on, so the plastic should just lift straight up like that, showing us the carriage underneath. The problem we'd got is that this lever here was slightly out of alignment. It needs to be lifted up and put, when it's fully twisted to this side, we need it straight at the 6 o'clock position. And now it turns correctly. Just checking the way the carriage works. If we select a button like that, this is the release lever, and it should release. This has got, as you see, a little bit of a sticky action there, so we need to clean that up. When releasing, it's not releasing quite as quickly as it should. So I just need to give that a bit of a re-grease and a clean in there. Now, after having given it a clean, it should spring instantly back. The way this action works is there's a lever in here that flicks it across. It's held here with some springs. Underneath here there are points that these actions swivel on, and those are what the grease becomes stuck on and needs freeing and cleaning. So let's have another go. You see? Push both of them. Make sure that's in the right place. And it should snap back really quickly. And if that action is slow, it's because there's a grease build-up inside, and it'll just go slow like that, really slowly. Even slower than that. There we go, like that. But it should just snap back. When you're in here, you've got to be careful not to flick any springs off. But other than that, it's pretty easy and self-explanatory. The grease I use is a silicone grease from an auto shop. And I will grease in here, all on the moving parts that need it here. See these places where the carriage slides the KC lever. all of this. So now to put it back together then, shall we go? To put it back together, we've got to reassemble. And let me just show you here, this lever here that's sticking up. That there moves up and down, like that. That there is your tension dial part that fits in. That centerpiece goes on here, and the coil, the snail's coil, fits into this. So that's why when we push it on, let me show. When we push the tension dial on, it's going to turn and not be caught now, see? But there's going to be a point where that snail's coil is going to catch the hole. The snail's coil is going to catch that sticky uppy peg. Very technical, I know. So what I'm going to do to enable that is to push slightly down as I turn. And at some point, it's going to find the right place there. Did you see that? It's now clicked into the only position that that works in. And now you'll see the tension action happening. Then it changes the size of the needle channel inside underneath the carriage. So the needles are then pushed in and out further or lesser to create the tension. Anyhow, we'll take this off. We'll put the carriage plastics back on. You try doing this one-handed, looking through a camera. There we go. We check that everything's still functioning. And now we have this in the right position. We can put the tension dial back on now. So it's over the center hole, pushing down and turning till we pick up the snail. There we go. Underneath. That's now correct. What's next? Do you remember? It's that little piece of metal. Let's put it to tension dial 5 at the 6 o'clock position. We're going to put on the piece of triangle metal. We're going to put the screw in the middle, and as we turn, this is going to shift. So make sure when you finish, just before you finish tightening, that that is exactly lined up. You see here, it's twisted and moved. So I'm going to go most of the way. See how it moves? I'm going to put it into the right place. Line it up. Put this on here. You can tell I've been doing this for a couple of days. I've got ingrained oil underneath my fingernails. There we go. That is now perfectly lined up at 6 o'clock position. 6. Next, turn the carriage over, because we're going to put on the plastics screws, those gold screws that were different underneath. These ones here have got plastic left in them, which they always have. A little bit of plastic where they've been put in at the factory. Where's the holes? There's one. And there's the other. Now, as you put the screw in, you need to make sure it's going into the plastics underneath, that it's not going to twist and break, that it's properly lined and not cross-threading. There they are. Just a little note on things you're looking for. So if you're having problems with your carriage and it's not working, it's not knitting, it's jamming, or it's not doing the selection of the tuck or whatever, what you need is each one of these little moving parts needs to have a resistance and a flick back. If it slowly returns, then you have a problem. You see how it's flicking back? And here's another one. And we have a little move a bit here, flicking side to side. And what else have we got? Here, underneath here, we've got another one. Needs to move. All of these need to move cleanly, snappily, not slowly. So it should go snap back, not move in a slow movement like that. If it was to spring back slowly, then either the spring's old and broken, or underneath there's grease and build-up and it's just sticky and can't do it. Right, we've put the screws back in, we're going to put the carriage handle back on. We've got the handle back on. We've got everything functioning as it should. And the handle is now, the knob is now back in the right place. And all that we need to do now is test the machine. There you go. To test the partial knitting, we're going to put the button pressed in to the right, and now none of these needles should move. You just slide across. Like that. So we've got the carriage back together. I hope it gives you the confidence now to have a go yourself. This is a lovely little machine. It doesn't look so pretty because it's got numbers written on it and plastics are a bit broken, but functioning perfect. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, give me a comment so I know you're there. Let me know how your day's going and if this was a helpful video for you. Bye-bye.